Hello, Professor Lohman. My name is Alberto Ramos Jr., and the question I was assigned according to my birth month was 2. So part A asks for the time it takes to reach the maximum height. We know that the equation for maximum height for the time is equal to negative velocity of y divided by the acceleration, which in this case would be g. To find the velocity of y, we take the velocity times the sign. That equals our velocity of y. So we plug that into our equation above, and we get negative velocity times sign divided by a, which in this case would be negative g, since we're talking about gravity here. Now we simplify everything, and then we get our answer, which is velocity times sine of the degree divided by g. For part B, they ask what the total time is for when the projectile hits the ground. With what we found last time, the maximum height, the time of the maximum height is equal to velocity times sine divided by g. So this is halfway on the graph. So what we're going to do is take this equation and multiply it by 2. And then we would get our answer of 2 times the velocity times sine over g. Part C is asking to find the maximum height. So with what we learned in part A about the time of the maximum height, we're going to plug it into the equations of motion to find y. All right, so we get half of g times g times the time squared. All right, and we're going to evaluate this equation to get our answer. So we have half times g velocity squared and sine squared divided by the g. One of the g's cancel out, and the half that we have here can incorporate to this fraction. So we have velocity squared times sine squared divided by 2g. And this would be our maximum height. For part D, they're asking us to find the total distance in the x direction, and the formula for that would be velocity of x times t, but not the first t, which is half. We need the full t. So we're going to plug in what we know, and with vx, that equals velocity times cosine. So we would get velocity times cosine times the full. Now we're going to simplify this and we should get our answer. The distance in x direction, which is equal to 2 velocity squared cosine times sine, all divided by g.